You've been lifting for a couple of years now, and at first you were seeing crazy results, but now you can't seem to make any progress. And if you stick around until the end of the video, I am going to let you in on 5 secrets that'll help you level up your physique. Before we get started, comment what your dream physique is down below. Be tactical. Now, this can mean so many different things, but what I'm trying to say is use common sense. If you barely hit 205 pounds on bench for 1 rep, don't jump up your next set to 225. There's a huge difference between trying to grind through something and then being tactical about how you get there. If you have tried to hit the same max bench 5 workouts in a row and you still aren't hitting it, then take a step back, reevaluate your form, maybe reevaluate your progression in order to lead up to that max lift. Try recording yourself, or maybe ask an experienced lifter or trainer to come over and help you. There is no shame at all in asking for advice. Prioritize. Now, I get it. Life happens, things come up, other things start to get in the way. The reality is there is a lot of time in each and every single day, and you most likely aren't grinding every single second of every single day. If you genuinely want to get these results, sacrifices will have to be made. There's a quote I've been hearing a lot recently, and it goes something like this: sacrifice for what you want, or what you want will become the sacrifice. And what this means really is, if you don't push for something and let a few other things go in order to achieve that goal, then you're actually sacrificing the goal that you want to get in order to hold on to those few things that you aren't willing to give up. It's really not easy to get a sick physique, especially the one you are trying to achieve. And if it was that easy, everyone would have a sick physique. And that being said, if you really are that busy or have other things to focus on at the moment, that's completely okay. I just want you to be aware that the results won't exactly be the same as long as you're okay with that. If you found the video useful so far, or if you're simply enjoying it, please be sure to drop a like down below. Thank you. Visualization. Now, you visualize things in every aspect of life, whether this is for sports, video games, conversations, performances, shower thoughts, and regrets. And I'm actually going to give an example for each one of these things as well. So as far as sports go, I'm going to give the example of football, being a wide receiver myself. With visualization as a wide receiver, I was going to envision what the play call was, envision the route I was running, how the defender is going to play, where the quarterback is going to throw the ball, and so on. Video games. When the bad guy's coming at you, you have to start smashing that one button that fights back for the bad guy, or maybe you got some combo moves for the bad guy. As far as conversations go, none of you can tell me that before a very important conversation, you haven't at least played it out in your head a couple of times. For performances, whether this is for a play or for a presentation of some sort, you're at least going to go over your PowerPoint or the things that you are going to say a few times. Maybe envision the audience in front of you, how they're going to act. Is it going to be interactive at all? Are you going to joke? And so on. Shower thoughts. Now, you're not necessarily envisioning the shower thought itself. It's the amount of visualization that we do when we are just standing there in the shower. That is probably when most people do most of their clearest thinking, because you're relaxed, you got some hot water on you, and all you're doing is thinking at that time. And then regrets. Regrets being back then when you might have done something super cringy and you're like, oh, why did I do that? Especially when you're going to bed, all those cringy thoughts hit your head at once. Something that you wish you said differently, or even maybe you took a different action towards something and done differently. So as you can see, there's plenty of examples with visualization, but the whole encompassing aspect of it is what you see, what you hear, what you touch or feel, what you taste, and what you smell. So your 5 senses, really. So an example with using this visualization in the gym, for as far as what you see goes, maybe you're doing a barbell squat and you're looking in the mirror, you're kind of seeing how your hands are lined up on the bar, you're seeing your placement of your feet, of your knees, maybe the depth that you are going to hit when you are looking in the mirror. You're hearing the clanking of weights, people talking, maybe the music in your ear. As far as feeling goes, you're feeling how much of a stretch you're getting at the bottom of that rep. You're feeling where that ring is on the bar to put your finger in order to lock your hands into place. You're tasting maybe the pre-workout or gum or whatever food you ate before coming to the gym. And then as far as smell goes, most gyms have some sort of familiar smell to them, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. You probably recognize that smell. For example, maybe you smell the rubber plates or the metallic plates. So all of this visualization actually helps with those mistakes and helps you think about what you could do better. And even if you are already good at something, this helps perfect those things. So for example, on form, you're envisioning the depth of your squat. For intensity, you might be thinking, what am I going to envision, or what music am I going to listen to that is going to help me lock into gear and get hyped for this set to lift this amount of weight this many times. And a huge part of that feeling and that visualization is the mind-muscle connection. And what this is exactly how it sounds. It is the connection you have from your brain to the muscles that you are trying to activate. And funny enough, a lot of people think that you grow muscle in different parts of the rep, but more often than not, they think it is the concentric part of the rep where you are pushing the weight. The explosive part is where you're growing the muscle. Or sometimes people think it's that squeeze at the top. When you're squeezing your chest together at the top of that bench press, they think that is where the most muscle is grown. However, it is actually the lowering, the eccentric portion of that rep. This is where you elicit a whole lot of muscle hypertrophy. And probably in most cases, it really just depends on what you're specifically training for, but more often than not, you'll get the most muscle from that eccentric portion of the rep and that good stretch at the bottom. And when you actually do start to get that good stretch at the bottom of your rep, that is how you know you're actually leveling up with your mind-muscle connection. Another thing I like to do for the mind-muscle connection is actually dig my knuckles into the muscle that I'm trying to activate. This way, by digging those knuckles into that muscle, you're already actually activating that muscle a little bit, and you're kind of feeling it in the tissue where it's like, okay, I'm going to squeeze here, I'm going to stretch here. It's just something that helps me mentally. It might help you too. Pre-fatiguing the muscle is also really good for this, especially if you do some sort of light workout before your heavier big lifts. So for example, a light dumbbell chest fly before you get into your bench press to help feel the chest before you start benching, or some leg extensions before you start squatting, just so you could feel that quads activate a lot more. And my favorite one, freaking push yourself. I've been training for over a decade at this point in some form or another, and I have seen plenty and done plenty enough to know whether me or someone else was pushing for real, or not pushing at all. And everyone's at a different level, which is okay and completely understandable. But my point is, you can push harder than what you currently are right now. For example, some people will feel the burn and go, ow, that hurts. Other people will literally be on the leg extension, on the verge of tears, trying to Tom Platz their shiz until they can't move their legs anymore. And that's completely okay. Everybody starts somewhere. Just know that your mind is one of the most powerful things on this planet, and you can push yourself way harder than your body says you can. That being said, beginners, please get your form down first and slowly increase the weight over time until you can't anymore. And just to clarify, when I say push yourself, I don't mean ego lifting or using any sort of cheap reps every single time you're lifting. I mean high quality reps with a weight that is reasonable for your goals. Here is the video YouTube thinks you'll like next, so be sure to check it out here.